I don't know how to start this video, and so we're going to just dive into it. The TLDR, for those of you who don't know, is apparently over on Twitter. More social media is kind of trending about Amouranth. Apparently, she's been married for the last couple of years, and her husband has been controlling her accounts, and so much more. And I want to highlight this tweet specifically in hopes that they made it as a joke. But if in all seriousness, I've seen this mindset from many different, we're going to call them boys out there on the internet. Because a man can't be this dumb. That's the hope. And so I want to talk to this mindset out there in hopes to encourage us all to be better, not just in terms of content creators, but just in how we treat women in the real world. I'm sure the internet will litigate, dissect, break it all down. There's going to be many different topics and viewpoints of this, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this mindset. And we're going to take this tweet as if they were serious. I don't know if they were joking. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to hide their handle, in case that they're just trying to meme on the situation and get some attention. And so let's give them a little attention, but not that much attention. We've seen this happen. I've seen this happen a lot with female streamers in many different spaces. And this mindset, I just cannot understand it. It ties into the parasocial relationship, but it also ties into a disappointing mindset that we see happen over and over again. And I've seen other guys try to justify it. And I'm sure, and I've already seen on Twitter, people trying to justify this mindset that you giving money to a streamer or a content creator, a female, constitutes some kind of transactional relationship, constitutes some kind of relationship, constitutes this mindset. And that's why we've seen so many females have to hide their relationship status because of this mindset. Like it's just a mathematical equation at this point. Just note that it is not an anomaly. It ends up being how, as a female content creator, sharing your relationship status is a financial impact on you. And that is in and of itself, I think, strange, because that constitutes the people who are supporting you that wouldn't if you were in a relationship. That is the parasocial nature of it. And I want to share just this bit of wisdom that was given to me when I was in high school, in hopes that maybe it resonates with some of you out there. My coach told me is that when you go on a date with a woman, with a young lady, you don't pay to hold her hand. You don't pay for kisses. You're not paying for any of that. If you pay for this date, you're paying for the pleasure of their company. And I think this rings true even in the online social space. If you gift a sub, or if you subscribe to a female content creator, you're not paying for this relationship. You're just helping to support the content that you want to see more of. That's what financial support does for content creators. It doesn't necessitate, that's not a word, necessitate a relationship between the two of you, like a friendship between the two of you. It constitutes like supporting of more content being able to be produced and to be made for ideally you to enjoy. Now, each and every content creator is going to be different. Personally speaking, like the way I run things here is more of that community, aspect, hanging out, playing games together. But not everybody has that, and nor should they have to feel pressure to build that same level of connection with anybody, especially in Amouranth's case. But we've seen this time and time again, many other female content creators losing massive amounts of support whenever it was revealed or bestowed upon them that they were in a relationship. And this is unfortunate. And what Amouranth is going through and what's been shared is also another subject, another topic, another thing to be concerned about in terms of just that relationship. But that's something that her legal team has to kind of figure out for themselves. And so I don't want to weigh into that litigation mindset. What I want to do is encourage you, if you're in this mindset of that parasocial relationship, especially if you've given her any kind of gift or money or things like that. We've seen her, in her case, with her, the more attention that she's gotten, obviously you're going to attract, I guess, more of this same level mindset with various stalkers and various people who feel like they have this one-on-one relationship with you, feel defensive of that, and maybe perhaps them feeling betrayed by that aspect. you're not betrayed. She doesn't owe you anything. And that's just where I fall on it. And I hope that we can start to see some level of improvement, especially with somebody as high profile as she is. And the only, I think, way we can do that, especially like if you agree with me, if you're like, yeah, this is like, guys should not react like this, to help encourage guys to be better, to set a higher standard, to set a higher bar. I think that's something, and I don't know if you guys agree with this or not, but I've always thought this, especially as it relates to boys and men, is that we're built for a challenge. We're built to be, to be better. And if you set a low standard, we'll have no problem clearing it. But the higher standards that you can set, it drives, I think, men to have whatever is in their DNA. Maybe this is the same way for women too. I can't speak to that. I have no history or knowledge of what that would be like. But in the case of being a guy, like to rise to the challenge, to try and be better. And so setting higher standards, I think, benefits us all. And when we see these kind of mindsets being shared in this regards, to try and correct that idea lovingly, if at all possible, or try to encourage just guys to be better about it. But if you feel betrayed by this story, if you feel betrayed by this information, you need to go look in the mirror and see what it is about that makes that connection for you. That money you were giving her wasn't ever going to constitute a relationship. I honestly would be curious if any story ever did, if there was ever any kind of, like, oh, this very attractive and very popular and very wealthy female streamer got gifted a sub for $5, and turns out she went ahead and married that guy, right? Like, I have never seen that. And so being that there's no even history of that, to my knowledge, I don't understand how we end up getting that same level of mindset actually playing out in the real world. But and maybe there's the opposite. Maybe the opposite ends up being the same case, right? Where a male streamer and that parasocial relationship, a female's giving him gifts, getting that attention. Maybe, I don't know. It just seems like it's a very dangerous and scary practice, and one that ideally we can start to evolve from, be better at, and at the end of the day, just try to make the world a better place. But wanted to share those thoughts. I saw this popping up on the internet. I have massive concerns, especially for those I would, in a weird way, like as a content creator, as we think of each other as colleagues, always kind of being concerned about that aspect, always kind of trying to encourage us, both in the content consumption and the content creation world, to be safe, to be smart about these aspects. And for those of you who feel or feel like this tweet is, what speaks to you, to try and encourage you guys to be better. And that's just never going to be the case. Anyway, thanks for letting me weigh in on this. I hope you guys enjoyed. Typically, I avoid these kind of situations, but I just felt like I wanted to sit down and talk about it for a minute or two. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see you next time.